And now, 3 rounds of Fade the Noise, bold takes, sharp bets, and guaranteed heat. Introducing first, the hosts, Joe and Eric.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Another week of Fade the Noise, episode 36 here. We're kicking things off with a bang, finally welcoming back UFC for 2026. It's about time. I know Joe is extremely excited to talk about it, and we are up to the divisional championships for NFL, or conference championships, and those matchups are going to be interesting. We'll break that all down a little bit later. I've got Angel and Aaron with me as usual, and co-host and CEO Moneyline Hacks Joe. It's going to be an exciting weekend for sports all around. I can't wait to dive into everything, and for the first time in 5 shows, I think we're going to kick things off with UFC. So Joe, take us away.
Yeah, very excited for UFC to be a thing. Again, it's been 5 weeks, 5 episodes. It's been a while. We got Paddy Pimblett taking on Justin Gaethje in the main event of UFC 324, opening up the Paramount era. No more pay-per-views for Americans. They still got to pay for pay-per-view in Canada. Sucks for them.
Ooh.
But
I didn't know.
Yeah, the right, money, cash rules everything. So there's different TV rights out there, and yeah, they still have pay-per-views. I think once their deal runs out for the pay-per-views, it's called Rogers. Don't know what that is, but once that Rogers deal runs out, I think the plan is to move to the format that we have in America. So America is getting great again, and that's one way. There's no more UFC pay-per-views. At least my America. That's all I care about. So I'll just go ahead and we'll start with the co-main event. Co-main event is Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Sugar Sean O'Malley is 18-3. Song Yadong is 22-8. And O'Malley's the former bantamweight champion. He won that belt from Aljamain Sterling. He's coming off a 2-fight skid. Both losses coming off of against Merab. He's well-rounded. He has good striking. I think he has better jiu-jitsu than people think. His problem has always been just pressure wrestling, when you could avoid his shots on the outside and get on the inside. Usually that's a recipe for success against O'Malley. No one really has been able to do that but Merab, which he excels at that. And Song Yadong, I don't think he's going to be able to do it either. He's not that type of fighter. I've watched tons of his fights, tons of footage on both fighters, and O'Malley, he does really well against a fighter like Song, who lunges and leaps in and relies on that to land their shots as opposed to angles and higher level striking. I think he's going to lunge in to one of O'Malley's straights, and that might be the end for him. I'll have an official pick on this one for VIP, so if you're in the free Discord, check it out. Check VIP out. We're running a 60% off deal right now, so you get the whole month of our VIP picks for $20. So we bet every fight on UFC, so this will be one of them.
Sweet. Angel, anything to add for the co-main with Suga and Young Song?
Yes, one of my favorite fighters, Sean O'Malley, Sugar Show. He's entering on a 2-fight skid. Lost the belt, lost the rematch. Merab definitely put it to him, but I think he's gonna use this fight to reboot what we call the Sugar Show, and he's gonna reinsert himself back into that title picture. Because I believe the winner of this will be looking at perhaps a title shot against maybe Peter Yan later in 2026. To be determined, we don't know, but all I do know is that Song Yadong is coming off a statement win over Henry Cejudo by unanimous decision. So he's definitely riding some momentum. He's consolidating a strong run against elite names, and he's boosting his case as a legitimate future title challenger. So he said himself, this fight against Sugar is going to be the most important fight of his career, and I think that this fight may not go to decision, but we are in for a 3-round war. If so, Sugar needs to stay long. He needs to counter like he does. Song's compact, explosive puncher, and I think he might go to O'Malley's legs, calf early to try to slow down his mobility, but I'm not too sure what we're going to see. But I am probably more excited for this fight than the Gaethje fight, but that's just me.
Interesting. Okay. I did not expect you to be more excited for that one, but to each their own. Yeah, I get that too. You know what? No, I don't, but that's okay.
Once he threw that mask on in the face-off, I feel like he was pretty confident there.
Man.
Cool. And let's switch over to co-main, and we'll go back to Joe.
So that was the co-main.
Sorry,
Moving
main
forward,
event.
we're doing main event. Just Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. Unlike Angel, this one I'm probably more excited for, but not much more because Song versus Sean, that has a little ring to it. Yeah, their fight's gonna be exciting as well. It's two really good fights, strong. A lot of times you have like a top heavy card or the co-main strong, but not the main event. This one, both the co-main and main event is strong. So I'm
Which
looking forward
fight
to this
do you
card.
think lasts longer?
That's a good question. That's actually a really good question. That one's hard.
One's 3
but-
rounds, one's 5 rounds, but they're both kind of strikers, you know what I mean? The matchups at least. So just interested in that.
I would honestly yeah, I don't know. It's so hard. That's a hard question because I feel like Gaethje versus Pimblett is a higher level fight in general,
True.
but just a little bit higher level. But when it comes to the co-main event with Song and O'Malley, I feel like Song really could get knocked out pretty early. I think he's gonna lunge in and get caught. It just depends what round that's gonna happen. So
Here for it.
if I had to flip a coin, I'll just say I'll go with the higher level fighters. They usually know how to stretch it longer. Gaethje and Pimblett. I think one of them gets finished in the third.
Ooh.
All right, I'm saying too much. But anyway, so the main event, Pimblett versus Gaethje. We have Pimblett with the 23-3 record and Justin Gaethje with the 26-5 record. Pimblett has done very well in the UFC. He's undefeated. His notable wins are Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, and Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon is a little controversial. People thought he did lose that one, but even since then, he's shown leaps in his game. Every time he comes out, he's a little better. This dude is shredded and absolutely ripped for the division. It's because he gets fat between camps, and that turns in when you start turning it back into muscle, that goes well for you. So this dude's he's the really like thick lightweight. And, you know, lately it's been the fighters that are of the future. It's been these fighters that are the ones that are winning. Peyton Talbot, fighters like that, just they've been showing up and showing out and showing the old guard what's up. So I think this will be no different. I think Paddy is going to get the win over Gaethje. It's going to be a chaotic fight in my opinion. And I think Paddy has a very good chin. I think he can withstand damage from Gaethje, even if he does get caught. I just think his striking's underrated. Michael Chandler, he showed Michael Chandler just went 5 rounds with Charles Oliveira, had then fought Paddy Pimblett, and Paddy Pimblett dismantled him in just a few rounds. So he's definitely on that level. I don't think people understand how good his striking is. We all know how good his submissions are. That's his specialty, but his striking, he can hang with the best of them now, and I think he'll do just that with Gaethje until he finds an opportunistic time to submit Gaethje. Yeah, this fight's gonna be good.
Interesting. And before I toss it to Angel, just to chime in on the total rounds here, that fight's at 2.5 rounds. Well, technically both fights are, but it's pretty good odds at 2.5 rounds. So your prediction about when things could end is in line with Vegas for the moment anyway.
Yeah, and we know where to bet that one, so we'll be betting it this weekend for sure. There's going to be a lot of good opportunities to make money on this card.
Yes, sir. Angel, you want to chime in? Anything you want to add for Gaethje versus Pimblett?
Yes, sir. This is the main event for the first show under the new broadcast deal, and it's going to be a good one. Gaethje and Pimblett, they're fighting for their interim UFC lightweight title because reigning champion Topuria is unavailable for early 2026. But you can bet that the winner of this fight is going to be in line to fight Topuria towards the end of 2026. And that I'm probably more excited for than this one, but that's too far to look into the future. So I think this one's going to be pretty epic. Gaethje, he does have a pretty high experience in high-level 5-round violence fights. So I think he has the edge in that department. But Pimblett, he's young, he's aggressive, high-paced fighter. And like Joe said, he dismantled Michael Chandler. I didn't think I was going to see that, but that happened. I don't know. What are we going to see? Is this going to be an upset? People are saying Gaethje is the favorite on paper, but I don't see that happening against Paddy Pimblett. And I don't know. I think his youth and durability are going to prevail, and he's going to show the UFC that he deserved that title fight. And yeah, I think that if Gaethje can, he's known for his calf kicks. If he can butcher the legs early of Pimblett and take him into the later rounds that Paddy's not used to, I think he might be able to do something there. But I don't know. Paddy Pimblett's star power is his weaponizing pace. He's unpredictable. It might be too much for Gaethje. So I think his this star power and talk about this fight is going to be a great springboard for his fight against Topuria. So definitely lean in Paddy in this fight.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how everything shakes out. I've seen some stuff, and Paddy's already seems to be looking ahead to Ilya, so not past Gaethje, but
Nah, it's nothing
we know
easy,
who he
that's for
wants.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Thanks for breaking down the co-main and main event for tomorrow night, guys. I think everyone's going to be excited. And just a reminder, come into the Discord, even for the free plays, like you're going to get some knowledgeable advice and good angles to play. So hope to see you there. And now we're going to head over to NFL. So last weekend was ridiculous. I didn't look it up, but the odds of like that round and having two of the games go into overtime and the way everything played out, like it was
Picture
crazy.
perfect.
Especially the controversial Broncos one. I'm sure some people argue karma with what happened after the game. Look,
That's
in real
messed
time,
up.
it looked like an interception. And I agreed with that. And then I saw a couple different angles, and then people like freeze frame, and in those cases, but you know what? It is what it is. Don't keep the game so close if you don't want to leave it to the refs. Same with UFC. If you don't want to leave it to the judges, knock his ass out. I know it's easier said than done, but that's the benefit of sitting in a chair instead of playing the sport. We're going to start things off with Patriots at Broncos. So Patriots are minus 238, understandably so, and the total's at 42.5. Broncos are plus 195 if anyone is interested in that. I don't know how I feel. We were kind of debating it before the show started. If anything, I think Bo Nix was just like a morale thing for the team. Like he led them this far, so it's not really as much about ability. I'm sure Stidham can throw passes, pretty well. Sean Payton's not a dumb person. Like he's going to pick guys he can count on. But otherwise, it's just not a large sample size to draw from. And they're pretty banged up. We're going to have to see what happens with Troy Franklin, and I think they had another wide receiver that was injured, but the Patriots are so good. 2 shows in a row, I called Patriots, and it happened. So I'm proud of myself for that. But let's head on into the deeper analysis with this one, and we'll kick things off with Angel.
Yes, Troy Franklin, as you said, limited in practice this week, questionable for the game, but recent updates frame him as a true game type decision. And I think with all things on the line, if he can pass the test, he will be there. The other receiver you maybe be referring to was Pat Bryant, concussion. He's returned to full participation late in the week, and the Broncos note him improving to full practice. So look for him to definitely be a very useful weapon for Jarrett Stidham. People are thinking that this 29-year-old NFL quarterback doesn't have it in him, but originally he was drafted by the Patriots, and the Patriots at the time had Tom Brady, so I think he had a pretty good teacher at the time. But after them, he went to the Broncos, and in about 4 games, he's thrown over 1,400 yards. So I think he can easily pass, not easily, of course, against this Patriots stingy defense who created 5 turnovers last week against the Texans. Like, come on, even if they create 2 or 3 against the Broncos, that might be all they need this time around. But I don't know. Will the Patriots stop the Broncos' run? If so, I think their coach, Peyton, he's one of the best play callers in the league. And I think he's going to show the Patriots that it won't be that easy to beat them as people think. So I don't know. The Patriots are 8-0, I believe, on the road, and they're riding a lot of momentum right now. Drake May, pretty balanced offense, better defense, some would say. But with Bo Nix going down, that's just crazy how it happened in the last few plays of the game. Almost could have been avoided, but just maybe it just was what had to happen. Historically, the Patriots are 0-4 in playoff games in Denver, so I'm not sure if it's the altitude or the environment, but it's going to remain a real factor, and I think it's going to play a key part in this matchup. But yeah, Patriots are the favorite. I see why. A lot of people see why. I'm probably going to ride with them too. That defense is no joke, and Drake May hasn't been the best in wire-to-wire games because he hasn't had to. The defense just, is there for them, and I think they're going to be there for them again. But if talk of J.K. Dobbins, if he comes back, watch out for that 1-2 punch with Harvey and him. And that's all I got to say.
That's a good point. Also, pretty generous with create turnovers, okay? They were gift wrapped in a few situations.
Hey,
Same
I
with
won't
Denver, though.
complain about how they get them. They're rare, so if they can get them gift wrapped or take it away, just get one or two. It's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, I hear that. Aaron, what do you think about this game?
I think kind of sets up pretty good for Drake May this game. I mean, they all do, kind of, but somehow, I'm not a Drake May fan. He's really good versus man coverage. And the Broncos run a lot of man, and they're going to blitz a lot. And when he's blitzed, he's like 10 times better. I think like 130 plus passer rating under blitz, and everything's just more efficient. And he can run also. He's still at that. So you get the Broncos who are going to run man most of the time, and they're going to blitz more than anybody has blitzed them, even though everybody's arguing the Patriots have seen two good defenses and they turnovers galore. They look kind of crappy. And I think this defense in particular is Drake May's favorite for setup. And I think he's going to be able to just execute, like not perfectly, but properly the whole game. And with the Broncos, I mean, it's kind of like trying to fade Shanahan when everyone's hurt on the 49ers. You still got Sean Payton over there. And I still think it makes for the, the fundamental plays all first half. I mean, it could be Broncos winning first half for all we know. I think Sean Payton is enough coach to keep everybody hanging in there on the team, and Vrabel. I mean, yeah, they're both. I was looking for what I had down earlier, but the Broncos, my notes are all jumbled right now. The Broncos are, I guess their center might be back, like you were saying earlier, and that's going to be huge for a run game that actually works pretty well. They have a really good O-line, and they're going to be able to protect the quarterback. So, I mean, are we going to be able to get the ball to our broken receiver core, or is J.K. Dobbins just completely overlooked in this? Because what's the other running back's name?
Harvey?
Yeah, he's not even breaking 4 yards a carry on 102 carries or something like that. So I think they really need Dobbins back. That's recently on Dobbins. Like I said, I don't have everything pulled up, but I think Dobbins is way better than RJ Harvey. And I think there is a overlooked factor there in the Broncos O-line. But I think when it comes down to it, the Patriots are going to be able to score probably at will, maybe one defensive touchdown even. I was trying to find Broncos ways, but when you start peeling the banana and it's ugly on the inside, you just throw it in the trash, right? I thought about it, and I was like, man, I can't do the Broncos, man.
Or you can
I'll
make
find a
banana
way.
bread. So you
Yeah,
just
that's
put a
Banana
little
bread
glass
is
out.
good.
Broncos might be banana bread of the week. You never know.
That's a good point, though, about Dobbins and Harvey. When Dobbins went down, their game changed a lot. And then last week against Buffalo, even though they should have been able to run the ball, Harvey was used maybe out of necessity, but he was a pass catching back for a lot of it.
Much more receiving
And he's
yards than
good at
rush yards.
protection, and their line is good at protection. And if they have Wattenberg playing, then that's going to be huge for the Broncos. That's like 5 tiers of center versus the other one you would have had replacing them coming and helping you out. So yeah, I tried to get to the Broncos, but I woke up this morning thinking about the Patriots team total, or I couldn't. I slept on the Broncos, and I woke up not liking them.
That's okay. I'm right there with you. And Joe, anything to add?
Yeah, Angel and Aaron already broke it down pretty well. I don't think they're going to be banana bread. I'm out here. They're both used to cold weather. And it is very cold out here. It's going to be I'm in Denver, and I can tell you right now, it's cold. It's going to be about 17 degrees with a wind chill of 13. Out here a mile up, it's a different type of cold. I saw trees shaking this morning, just vibrating, and it wasn't even windy. It was just that cold. So it's going to be cold. These boys going to be cold. Both teams finished at 14-3, I believe. Drake May had just over 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And Jared Stidham is just starting as a backup because Bo Nix suffered a season-ending injury. So honestly, we're just going to have to see how well Stidham plays. New England's game plan remains the same. Their whole menus open up, but Denver, they're going to have to compress a bit. Their tempo, the risk, and the drop back volume, especially with these cold conditions and a backup quarterback. Patriots are -4.5 right now, and the total is set to 42.5. Honestly, the road favorite in Denver. It is rare, but with Bo Nix out, that's the kind of quarterback value swing that makes these bets favorable. New England's offense produced 5,000 total yards on 996 plays. That's 5 yards a play on average. And then they're very efficient on 3rd and 4th down, as well as their aggression. They're 18 for 25 on 4th down. So those stats are aggressive, plus they convert a lot. In a game like this, in the cold, that matters a lot. A strong defensive theme is consistent with the Broncos, as always. Denver is among the better opponent points per game profiles. They're ranked near the top tier. This matchup, it carries old playoff ghost energy, but it's not the same teams, not nearly, and it's not the same dynamics, especially with Bo Nix out. It's basically May and his efficiency versus Denver's defense with their quarterback limitation and how well he could play or not play. I personally think if he doesn't turn into CJ Stroud, then he'll be all right, and this game will be all right. But if he turns into CJ Stroud, it'll be a blowout, at least for the cold. They're not going to score many points. It could be 23 if he turns into Stroud. So he just has to not do that, and they'll be fine. If I had to lean a certain way, I would lean the Patriots, but I'm saving this for best bet. So I'll definitely have a bet on this for our best bet segments at the end of this show.
All right. I was just looking at the receiver props for that game, and I forgot. I just learned that Kayshawn, all fantasy season, I pronounced it differently.
Booty.
Apparently, it's booty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What
That's
do
what
you
I
think
was
the Broncos' record is versus the Pats in the playoffs?
I mean, the team's changed
At
so
their
much.
house, it's 4-0.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put a lot of weight in that. Like, you saw what Peyton did with Russell Wilson, but whatever.
Will we see an historic upset?
So,
Let's find out.
Yep. That's it for the AFC. We're going to head over to NFC. No surprise to anyone. Seahawks won. I, for one, was not expecting that level of blowout. I did lose money on that. Thank you for asking. It was like, 41-6? I mean,
Yeah,
I thought the Niners, you brought up Shanahan, like, you can still only do so much sometimes.
It's not fair.
I think Seahawks have their ticket punched, but I will never count the Rams out because they're flexible. They adapt. Like, yes, they've dropped the ball for me personally a couple times when it came to like betting and who their opponent was, but it's postseason time. Like, they have the experience. They know what they're doing. The core group of their team is so talented and has been together for a while. So if anyone can do it, it's going to be them. Although, honestly, the Patriots and Seahawks would be an awesome Super Bowl. So I'm looking forward to this one. Rams are +120, and the Seahawks at home are -142, with the total set at 46.5. Might be some value on the totals, but like I promised, I am staying away from them because I keep doing the wrong thing. And yeah, let's dive in, and we'll go in reverse this time. Joe, what do you got for this game?
Yeah, so Seahawks, they finished the season at 14-3. Rams were 12-5. Stafford's thrown for 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Arnold has 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Much volatility on Darnold's end. Stafford's been just playing top end, lights out. His production and efficiency is amazing, which does matter in the playoffs. We just have to see how well Darnold's going to play, especially playing through that oblique injury. And right now, I think the Seahawks are set at around, I think -2.5. It's just because they're the home team, I think. right now that they are the favorite. Stafford, he's been bright in some moments in some games, and he still lost. So you can't really rely all on Stafford. He could be good for 58 minutes and still lose. But we have to watch Darnold's interception rate, and that's the obvious contrast point between the two quarterbacks. Seattle could win big, like as you saw last week, but it could also hand you points. So we just have to see which one shows up. I think all three left tackles weren't practicing this week for Seattle. That's not a good sign. And the starter, Charles Cross, he's going through some foot injury. So, yeah, it's not looking good at all. This creates a lack in drop back depth, rollout direction, and the tight end running back chip rate. So, just watch that position, watch the injury report going into the game. That's going to be a big thing. And Seattle's skill group identity is real. Jackson Smith-Njigba's season has been positioned as league best caliber by a lot of different coverages and local reporting. Seattle's offense isn't a hot streak. It's just been a season-long identity. It's just who they've been this whole season. And Rams' defensive availability will be the key factor here against that offense because Byron Young, he's not practicing early in the week, and he led the team in sacks this year. So watch that as well. The market right now is saying Seattle at home is a factor, but it's slightly makes them better, not by much. So in my opinion, this game is more of a coin toss. It's not what we'll see last week in the bludgeoning of the 40. This is a red zone and turnover game more than a yardage game, in my opinion. We'll see who could capitalize in the red zone and on mistakes. This is a chess match where one side has the queen, which is Stafford's ceiling, and the other side has the home crowd in the trenches. We just have to see which one prevails.
That is fair. Yeah, all good points. See how everything executes. Aaron, what do you think?
I think I'm scared.
In general?
Yeah, it seems like every team that won on paper, if you go back and look at the scores and look at the game, it's like, how did they lose? They were winning the whole game, and then the other team wins. So I'm convinced that whoever's like winning the box score is going to lose again. But I'm just worried because Stafford's fantastic versus the Seahawks, and Darnold is ass versus the Rams. And you look at Darnold, like for example, through like week 10, he was probably the best quarterback in the NFL, probably hands down. And then week 11 through week 18, he's interception prone. He's getting sacked. He can't. I mean, Smith-Njigba slowly fell off towards the end of the season too. And there wasn't even 40% pressure on Darnold in any of these games. And we know that Darnold isn't trustworthy under pressure. I wonder, he averages a 62 passer rating, 2 touchdowns, 6 picks for versus the Rams. I just feel like he's got to have his better game this year. And then I'm talking to myself in my head, like, am I really going to trust Sam Darnold, though? And the Rams work when their running backs can work, and I think it's going to be difficult for the run game, even though the Rams have a tremendous run blocking O-line. They fall forward, really. Like, it's not like they're breaking big runs all game, but, I mean, they execute the run really good. You start thinking about Darnold averaging over 103 or 105 passer rating versus the Seahawks, and everything looks great versus Darnold, who struggles. And I got to somehow tell myself I'm going to trust this dude again. I don't know if I trust McVay, man. That's where I keep going. But the
As
team
a play caller?
Yeah, just all game long. The Rams don't seem like they can play 2 halves of football. Never this season. And you're dominant over the Seahawks. You have double-digit leads in both games. You probably should have smoked them even worse one other game, but you kicked 2 field goals inside the 10-yard line or whatever it was. So, I mean, the Seahawks defense is there. But if I'm going to trust the Rams, they really need to play more than 2.5 quarters of football is where I'm sitting at. But I think with the defense shutting the Rams' run down and Stafford throwing the ball, I think it's going to work out for them. That first game they won, he only had 130 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, and they still won the game. but it's not really a yardage thing. It's more if Stafford's throwing the ball 35 plus times, then he's 10-2. And I think they need those first and second down or first and third down run plays convert. And Stafford can wing it. I think they're going to figure something out. It's just really, really, like Joe said, the coin flip, man. Great offense versus a outstanding defense. And then you got an offense and Darnold and them. I'd say Kenneth Walker is the offense right now. I think in his last 4 games, he's got almost 500 scrimmage yards, and he's like Bijan in the juke rate. So there's that. But if they got Kenneth Walker under a magnifying glass because Charbonnet's out now, then, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really have a red flag for the Rams defense. I like their pass rush. I like everything they're about on defense. It's just the one questionable card for me is no Charbonnet and a pressured Darnold. But aside from that, I think the Rams can get it done. A few days ago, I put a Stafford Super Bowl MVP. I think it was like plus 300 or plus 320 or something. But it was like the only way to go about trying to get a pretty price on a team that's not in the Super Bowl yet. I think if he can get his passes, at least his attempts in, and they can move the ball, I think the Seahawks will crumble before the Rams. And I mean, we've seen Houston's defense. They can keep you in the game for only so long. So it's still, both these games are kind of tough for me still, but I think the Rams have the edge, honestly. I think over the games that they've played this year, they have, even though they didn't win or the games were close, I think they showed that they can dominate games. And if they can hold that and play the whole game, then I think it'll be just fine for the Rams. So I lean Rams. Made a little 2-leg I did make a bet for this game. I have Stafford 35 plus pass attempts and Rams plus 7.5 for plus 160.
Pretty good.
But
I like those odds.
I'd like to get there with the Rams. I'm going to sit on it for a little bit, see if I end up at the window with it.
That's fair. Thank you. There's some really good insight there and gave me personally some new angles to consider when looking for some bets to make. Man, consulting you guys and then consulting the AI tools on the Moneyline Hacks website, like I just get filled with information and then my brain breaks and I just go with my gut.
Explosion of information.
Angel, wrap us up on the Seahawks game. Anything to add, agree, disagree with?
Said we're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
We might be. I feel like he gets a phone call at the same time every week.
Might freeze tag.
Okay.
Virtual freeze tag.
We'll circle back in a minute. I actually wanted to mention anyway, Aaron, to your point about trusting Darnold, I read this article and it made a really good argument for essentially what they're doing in Seattle was proving that you don't need a $50 million a year quarterback in order to make it to the Super Bowl. So they have a Super Bowl team. I mean, think about all the money you have to spend. Like, that's why they're so good. And if they can pull this off and win, then all of a sudden everyone's going to look at contracts like Purdy's or Dak's and be like, cool, so what the hell were we thinking? There's a little magic and luck involved, but I thought it was an interesting read to kind of get that perspective on it.
Yeah.
And we got Angel back. Hey, man.
Yes. Just in time. How we doing? I think this is the perfect matchup for a instant classic. These two teams have met in the season, splitting the series 1-1, and the only difference between those two games are 1 point and 1 yard. Pretty crazy how close those stats come to be, but I think this matchup is going to be unlike those two. Yeah, the Rams possess the NFL's top scoring offense, which makes sense. You know, Matthew Stafford making a pretty huge case for MVP, but the Seahawks own the league's top scoring defense, and they put that on display when they won the last game against 49ers 41-6. In that game, Sam Darnold, he was only required to throw just 17 times, so we're not sure if that oblique injury he suffered last week is still a thing, but he was limited in practice this week, and we're not sure if it has something to do with that oblique or rest, but I think he's going to have to pass a lot more this game, especially with Zach Charbonnet being ruled out with that knee injury. Kenneth Walker did do well running against the Rams in their previous matchup, but when he is the number one option and they know that, I think they're going to probably pressure the box a lot more. I think that I'm not sure how you slow down Puka Nacua, but he did go for 12 passes on 16 targets for 225 yards the last time they met. And if you do try to double coverage him, well, they still got very good options. And Devontae Adams, they got Parkinson, Kyron Williams can catch. So I'm not sure what you do, but do know that Seattle is they have the third highest pressure rate in the NFL. But with that, they still didn't even sack Stafford once in their previous 2 games. So I think they're going to want to pressure Matthew Stafford, because if you just give him time out there, you don't want to give him time out there, especially when he's 7-2 in the playoffs. Darnold, on the other hand, is 1-1 in the playoffs, and it's a pretty crazy stat, but he has 29 wins in the NFL, dating over the last 2 regular seasons and postseason. So I think he's used to winning, but he's not used to winning in the playoffs yet. And this is going to be one true test. But I don't know, man. Sean McVay, he's a pretty good coach. He's got the job done before. He's taken them all the way, and I think he's going to do it again. He's 3-0 when facing a team for the 3rd time in a season. Silly stat, but I don't know. I think he goes 4-0. Go Rams. Good luck, Seattle.
It's not a silly stat at all, actually.
Well,
It makes because it just says you learn from what happens previously,
Yeah, it's his 3rd time in a season, including the Seahawks in the 2020 playoffs. So he did beat them already. He might do it again.
Y'all are making me change my mind constantly. You make good points. I'm just saying. The Rams are a really good team. Cool. I'll root around for some value there. But that is the end of the breakdown/analysis portion of the show. So we covered the co-main and main event for UFC, the Patriots at Broncos, and Rams at Seahawks for NFL. By this time next week, we will know who is going to the bowl. So I'm excited for it. And now it is time for the Lock It In segment. You're going to get our experts' opinions and decisions on what they think is best to look for. And we're going to kick things off with Joe.
All right, so for locking in today, I have 2 best bets. Best bet number 1, it's going to be for the Patriots versus Broncos. Give me the Patriots plus the points. The QB gap is still big in my opinion. Jarrett Stidham, he's no Drake May. Patriots offense finished top tier in efficiency, low turnover profile, elite 4th down conversion rate, and cold weather hurts limited QBs more than structured offenses. So the healthier team's the Patriots, and I might have taken them, even if Bo Nix was in. So I like the Patriots minus 4.5 in that one. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, especially for the Broncos. And I think the Patriots will control the tempo, force Denver to throw late, and win by 7-10. Best bet number 2. Let's go over to UFC. That Sean O'Malley fight versus Song Yadong. I got Sean O'Malley minus 3.5. If you guys have the spread, which is commonly found on DraftKings and other sports books, not in every state, but in most states, you could bet the spread. Sean O'Malley's spread is set to minus 3.5. It is a 3-round fight. If the judges' scorecards are 30-27 on just one scorecard and the other 2 29-28, that spread covers. I think Sean could win all 3 rounds because this fight should be a striking fight. I don't see Song Yadong taking any round in a 3-round striking battle with Sean O'Malley. So for that reason, give me a Sean O'Malley in the points minus 3.5 or plus 110.
Interesting. Okay. You just made me rethink one of mine. So thank you. And let's go to Aaron next. Aaron, what do you have for your lock it in?
Drake May, 2 pass touchdowns, is minus 115, down from minus 118 yesterday. And he's going to be pressured. And he's playing man. He's not very good versus the zone. And he's going to play man. I don't know when it's dropping. I might take him to throw 3 that game also. But, yeah, it's minus 115 for him to throw 2 pass touchdowns. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty good bet. I think I'm going to go back to the sacks, man. I think Kobe Turner got his last time. I think Jared Verse is going to sack Darnold this game. Daniil Hunter came through first quarter last week. But I think Jared Verse is going to get a sack. I just can't get the price for it yet. But I'm on the Jared Verse half a sack and Drake May to throw 2 touchdowns. I think I'll be all right.
Interesting. The odds are super weird on DraftKings for it. The over under for sacks has Verse listed at 2.5, so under is minus 179. But 1+ sack by Jared Verse is plus 184.
Yeah, so I saw the Rams earlier was like minus 120-ish for over 2.5 team sacks. But I don't know. They got 4 on Darnold one game. They got 0 the other game. I'm pretty sure you got to clean that up if you're Seahawks in the playoffs too. But I think Wirtz is a menace, and I think he's a huge factor on the line of how the game's tilting. So I got faith in the Rams. I don't know quite yet if I'm going to take them as a team, but I think the pressure will be there. And I think Wirtz is going to be leading the pack this time.
All right. I'm rolling with you, man. I even did Danielle Hunter and whatever the other guy is that plays alongside him. They both got sacks, so pretty awesome. Cool. Angel, what are your lock it in picks?
Yes, sir. I got UFC, basketball, and football. So we're gonna knock out this basketball real quick. His name is Jock Landale, plays for Memphis, the Grizzlies. He was the backup to Zach Edey, but he is now out with injury, so he is the starter. And the line is over 20.5 points and rebounds, and I think he's gonna hit that. He plays at home tonight against the Pelicans, and the Pelicans have given up the 5th most points and 6th most rebounds. So they've given up pretty big games recently to Jalen Duren, probably around 35 points. And when Edey did play them, he got even finished with 36 points plus rebounds. So I think Jock gets over the 20.5. He's hit this line in 6 of his last 8 games. So that is my NBA bet. For football, the Broncos, they got ran on last week against the Bills. The Bills put up over 150 yards on the ground against them. So with how good they ran the ball last week, I'm taking the Patriots running back, Ramondre Stevenson. He's going to probably hit his line over 49.5 rush yards. He's gone over this line in his last, 6 out of 7 games. And I think he's the better running back between him and Trey Henderson at the moment, just because Trey Henderson's only gotten 52 rush yards within the last 2 games. So I look for a reminder to hit that line pretty easy against this Denver defense, who might be looking more at Drake May's arm, which is more lethal, because we all know how good he is at those deep passes. So those are my 2 bets. And my last bet is a little UFC parlay action. Like Joe, I'm riding that Sean O'Malley. I didn't know how I wanted it, but I'm going to take his money line plus Justin Gaethje's money line, mash that together, and be happy at the end of the night. That's the goal.
Bold.
Got it. It's a good way to start off 2026, Stay tuned.
Yeah.
O'Malley show.
At least we
Shoot
know
for him, man.
O'Malley's winning.
Hey, skid no
Yeah.
more.
And I don't know the status of Trey Henderson either, but he was kind of banged up.
Even better. Give the ball to Ramondre.
So that's it. Yeah. Just more fodder.
Probably hit 50
So
by
then
halftime.
for me, I was looking at the receiving yards in the Patriots at Broncos game. If you have the ability to do teasers of a sort, I would look at Diggs and Sutton's receiving yards. Like, Sutton's huge. They're going to have to throw to him. And Diggs, I mean, his total right now is set at 47 yards. I realize Denver's defense, especially their secondary, is going to be on point, but I just feel like Diggs is a diva. Like, he's just like A.J. Brown. Like, he's going to be like, give me the ball, and then go up and make some crazy play, like probably get it in 2 plays, So I like that. Their yards are pretty low there. And then originally when I said Joe messed up one of my bets, it was because I had Pats plus Paddy money line all the way, but then he decided to focus on O'Malley, and now Angel decided to focus on O'Malley. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave UFC alone because that's not my forte. And instead, if you do Patriots money line and Rams plus 7.5, you get like minus 116.
Nice.
I mean, you guys convinced me the Rams are going to keep it closer than I was originally thinking they would. And I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, but I would just be shocked if Denver ends with a win on Sunday. Like, I will.
Yeah,
We'll
I
just see
think
what
it's the
happens.
Rams-Patriots rematch.
That would be awesome, honestly, with these new, well, I guess only one side's mostly new, but still.
One's
If
old
you're
as hell.
scared of
and
the
the other's new.
Broncos, if you're scared of the Broncos, it might not hurt to take the Patriots to beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you threw that out in the Discord yesterday. What was it, plus 650?
Yeah, something like that. At least you have
That's a
that. If
nice
the
little
Broncos
edge
win
there.
somehow.
Yeah, I know what happened with Nick Foles, and I know he's like throwing his weight behind him, but
I mean,
and no
not
offense if he
Broncos.
ever sees it, but nobody wants to see Jared Stidham play in the Super Bowl.
I do.
So
I meant
We'll just have
Rams
to
to
see.
beat the Broncos, but
Yeah, thank you for correcting.
yeah.
Those are good odds. Absolutely. Cool. Well, that's the show today. Hope everyone enjoyed it and is looking forward to the next couple of days as much as we are. UFC is back, banging card, and there's another one next weekend too. So be sure to join us next Friday for our next show, and we'll see how everything goes on Paramount. I'm excited for the new era. We're going to know who's in the Super Bowl, and grateful for you guys for always sharing your knowledge and insights and helping me change my mind when I need it the most.
Yes, sir. Let's cash. Go Sugar Sean.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Sweet. Have a good weekend, guys, and see you in the Discord.
Yes, sir.